So I'm just going to do a quick video showing the interface and the overall features of the RG405M. You can see this is the front panel here. I'm trying to get it to focus here. There you go, front panel. And then we have the back. You can see right on the back there, RG405M. It has these silicone sort of padding right here. It makes it easier to grip on the back side. Here we have the USB-C, the charging dock, charging area. You can use any USB-C cable to charge and it works just fine. The included one I think is about 3 or 4 feet, but you can use literally any sort of Type-C DC cable. There's a speaker. This light will come on when you're charging it right here. You have the volume up and down, so positive, negative, or up and down for the volume. Power button is right here. You have your triggers on top. You have L1, L2, R1, R2. You can see it like that. Now here we have the dual joysticks, so left and right. So depending on what game system you use, you can alter the joysticks that you use, but they're all responsive in the same way. On the bottom here we have a D-pad, so traditional up, down, left, right D-pad. You can hear the noises that they make. Good amount of flex from the joysticks. We have the home and back button. And over here we have start and select right here. Of course you have your standard 4 trigger buttons. And these are all customizable depending on the system that you use, the emulator you use in here. Almost all of them, as far as I've used so far, are customizable to the extent where you can change all the different buttons and functions from what they traditionally would be used for. Bottom here, we have the headphone jack, and this is the actual slot where you insert the SD card that comes with all the games preloaded. So you can see it's just a standard SD card. There's nothing really special about it, but it comes with the hundreds upon thousands of games that are listed. Granted, with most of these things where they say like there's 1,000 or 3,000 games in them, a lot of them are going to be like NES style, arcade style games, if you remember those sort of games. So just do be aware of that. That's where a bulk of the game, a lot of the game bulk is coming from. So I'm going to show you quickly how it works. So power on. When you power on, it comes automated with this animated background here of this character. I don't know if it's an important character or just something generic, but you can see reacting. The interface for the main model is like an Android device. So if you ever used a tablet before or that kind of thing, it's similar to that. The touchscreen is also very responsive. There is a protective screen protector that comes in it, but I just haven't put it on. I've just been using this in my house, so there's not really much to worry about it breaking, but if I was going to travel with it, I'd definitely put it on. So you can see it works just as a normal touchscreen would. It has the same generic build as a tablet device, so it has the same sort of interface. So like you can have, these are the automated settings that are here that are going on throughout the whole device. It has internet capability, so you have Chrome down there. You can download other apps to this as you like. These are all the pre-installed emulators here, and if you don't know what they are, I would just suggest doing a quick Google of the name of the emulator and then game system right next to it, and just Google search that and you'll figure it out. Unless you want to go into it like me, I just kind of jumped in and figured it out on my own. But some of them are a little obvious, like here, GBA, so that stands for Game Boy Advance. GBC is Game Boy Color. Go back, so if I want to go back here, I can scroll up like a tablet would and go back to my home screen. DuckStation is for like PlayStation games and so on and so forth. Some of them are not so obvious, like the Dolphin, which at least to me, I didn't know what it was, but it's for Wii games and GameCube games. So you can see, and these games were preloaded onto the SD card. So very interesting that they have actual fully fledged, games on here. And if you click on them, you will see that it will load. And usually you have the option to use the touchscreen only, or you can use the included buttons as well. But it works just as it would on a traditional Wii or GameCube, that kind of thing. So I won't show too much. I'm just going to show you a couple of systems and how they work to emulate on here. But yeah, so. And again, you can use the screen or you can use the included joysticks to navigate. So I'm going to go back. As far as gameplay goes and using this system, it's very simple. It's, if you've ever used a handheld system before or a console, it just brings the console into a one, small device, instead of having to buy a Wii and a GameCube and a PlayStation 2 just to play certain games. A lot of game systems, even though they're in the same genre or from the same game company, they may not play legacy games or older games on the newer systems. So that's something that I always have trouble with. But for these things, as long as I have the game, you have the game file, you can play whatever you want to play. Like here I had this game, this was already loaded on here, Crash Bandicoot 2, so this is the standard like Game Boy Advance version of the game. So as long as you have the game, I'm just going to play a little bit for you. As long as you have the game, and you have a good download from a reliable and legal source to download your game, you should be fine. Just save it onto your system where you can find it, and then you can load it up into your game emulator. So there's a lot of options to play a lot of things. You can also use it as a traditional tablet device. The only thing it doesn't have really over like a tablet, an actual tablet, it doesn't have a camera. As far as I can see, no camera, no front camera, no back camera. So it's definitely a dedicated gaming device, but you do have the option to download music and play videos and connect to the internet as you would on a standard device. But you do have the ability to do so much more. So 99% of it is definitely for games, but you still have the option to download your own music and that kind of thing. And the interface is very simple to figure out. Just a matter of just Googling. The included instructions don't do much for telling you how to get past, to get into the system, but just do a couple. Thankfully there's a ton of tutorials online, YouTube, Google. Just Google whatever system, whatever emulator you're looking for, and say how to download games or how to adjust settings and that kind of thing, and you should be good to go. Because that's what I've had to do for a lot of these systems. I'm just giving another quick show that these are all the games that came with the system. I didn't have to download any of these games, so some of them I've never even heard of, but they're already